Welcome back to Everdell Pearlbrook. In this video, we're going to go over the rest of the cards that come with this expansion. There's still a few more, and then, of course, we still have to go over the River Citizen and River Location cards that come with this game. So let's get started. Alright, so one other thing I wanted to mention was this expansion came with this, this special event here, which is the Lookout and the Minor Mole, which you'll need in order to get this special event. But here's the thing. This one already was in the base game of Everdell. So I already had it. This one was with Everdell, and this one was with Pearlbrook. So I don't know why they made this one again. Maybe it was just a typo or a mistake. I'm not sure why they decided to add this one again when obviously they do the exact same thing. When achieved, you may place up to 3 twigs here. You may place up to 3 twigs here, and then 2 points for each twig on this event. So they do the exact same thing. So I don't know why they decided to reprint this and put this in there. I don't know why. Maybe they forgot to add it to some of the base games. I don't know. I just know I had it already. So it doesn't make sense why they did that again. Unless they want to increase your chances of getting to do this twice. You never know. That could be another reason for sure. But, or, because obviously if you ended up having both of these at the same time, because these are the 2 that were drawn out of the 4, you'd have 2 now, and maybe they did that so, you know, you can have 2 people go for the same one if they can manage it. I don't know. It doesn't seem likely that would be a good idea either way. So, I don't know why they did that. It seems weird. But that's just something that I wanted to mention that didn't make any sense to me, why they did that. Okay, so let's continue on here. So if you get the pirate and a crane in your town and decide to put a worker here, when achieved, you may play 1 card from the meadow worth up to 3 for free. So that's kind of interesting, Sunken Treasure discovered. This one doesn't give you any straight points at the end of the game, but it does allow you to play a card from the meadow for free up to 3 points. And when you think about it, the crane is only worth a pebble to play, and the pirate, well, if you have a pirate ship, the pirate is pretty obviously nice to have in your town too, because it doesn't take up space. But still, it's probably not as good as some of the other ones. But at least it gives you a nice ability. Then we have the River Race. As long as you have the Furry Ferret and the Twig Barge in your town, you can put a worker here. Then when achieved, and I was actually able to achieve this one once, when achieved, place either your Fairy Ferret or Twig Barge face down beneath this event. If it was the Fairy Ferret, you'll gain 2 extra points. If it was the Twig Barge that you decided to put down under this, you'll get 2 extra resources of your choice, and it's worth 4 points at the end of the game. And I actually ended up putting the Twig Barge below it for the 2 extra resources, and I did that in autumn, after I realized I probably wasn't going to activate the Green Production card again. So that was awesome. That was awesome, and very useful for sure. Alright. Then we have, Romantic Cruise. If you get the fairy and the husband, and you put a worker here, this is what happens. When achieved, you may search through the deck for a wife card and play it for free. Or you may gain 5-point tokens. So that's kind of interesting. This could make it so it's easier to get the wife. Here's the problem with that, though. Usually, it's better to get the wife first, so that way, when you play the husband in your town, you get that extra resource. So, in reality, it might just be wiser to go for the 5 points anyway, and then maybe get the wife later, who knows. That's probably what I would do at that point, is probably just get the 5 points. But, you know, it just depends on your strategy, I suppose. Because you can still get the wife later, and still get the points for the wife and husband anyways. So I think the 5 points would be better off in your best interest. Then we have a Riverside Resort. And if you have the harbor and the innkeeper in your town, you can do this. When achieved, you may place up to 3 critters from the meadow face down beneath this event. and this is worth 2 points at the end of the game. So this is kind of nice. You don't have to use cards that are in your hand. You can just use the cards from the meadow. Assuming there's at least 3 critters from the meadow, you can place them face down beneath this event and get 6 points. If you did all 3, obviously. I still have 2 more of these special events to go look at. Masquerade Invitations. So if you have the Messenger and the Fairgrounds, you get to do this. When achieved, you may give up to 6 cards to opponents and then gain 1 point for each card given this way. So that's kind of interesting. I don't know if I would do that too often, but maybe at the end of the game it could be useful. For sure, who knows. But it doesn't give you that many points if you're not going to give that many cards to your opponents, obviously. And if all of your opponents, if their hands are completely full, and you do this, you get the worker, and you achieve this, then you can't get any points anyways, because if they can't get cards from you, you can't get points from them. So, or should I say, you can't get points by giving them cards, because you weren't able to. So, it's something you have to think about, really, before you're going to try to do something. And all of these, pretty much all of these here, are just straight abilities. They're not really points you're going to get too much points with these. You're mostly just getting abilities with these. Then X marks the spot. So if you have the pirate ship in the storehouse in your town, when achieved, place 1 point on your storehouse for each resource there, up to 6. So that is awesome. This is probably the best one there is, because if you have the storehouse, and usually you usually will, because the storehouse is one of the best green production cards there is. And you've done the green production of the storehouse a couple of times, or if you wait to the end of the game and you've done it maybe 1, 2, 3, and if there was another way to activate green production cards, you'd have at least done it 3 times. You can get at least 3 points for this, or maybe more if you have done the storehouse more than that. So that's pretty nice, for sure. But that's it for the special destinations. Now there's only 2 types of cards to go after left. We have the River Location cards and the River Citizen cards. And this is all we have left to look at for Pearlbrook. So let's go over them. Hopefully, maybe we can get these done in this video. Alright, so first we have the Observatory. This one you'll pay a token. You'll pay 1 point token. So if you don't have any point tokens, you obviously can't do this. So you pay 1 point token and 1 resource of your choice to draw 2 cards from the meadow and gain a pearl. So it's a nice way of getting a pearl. If you have some point tokens, you can easily get a pearl with this Observatory. Then we have the Great Hole. Once again, you'll have to pay a point token in order to activate the Great Hole. And then you'll also have to pay 1 pebble as well. But if you're able to do that, then you can draw 4 cards, or if you want to do that, you can draw 4 cards and you'll gain a pearl. So obviously gaining pearls is the reason why you're doing this. You could care less about the other stuff you get. What you want is the pearls. And if you don't use up all the pearls at the end of the game, it's not a big deal, because each pearl you have at the end of the game still is worth 2 points. So that's really nice. So this one's a very nice one, for sure. And most of these are. Then we have the Market. Pay 1 point token and 1 resource of your choice to draw 3 cards and gain a pearl. So that's something you might want to do. The Ballroom. You'll pay 1 point token and 1 resin to draw 3 cards and gain 1 pearl. Gardens. Pay 1 point token and 1 berry to draw 3 cards and gain 1 pearl. Watermill. Pay 1 point token and 1 twig to draw 2 cards and gain 1 pearl. And that's it for the River Destination cards. Or should I say the River Destination cards. And the thing about it is there'll be 2 of these River Destination cards in the game. And there'll be 2 River Citizen cards in the game, randomly. So let's go over the River Citizens. They're a little bit different, because as you know, all of these were paying resources and point tokens to get the pearls and other effects. Bosley the Artist. For this citizen, you'll reveal and discard 3 different colored cards from your hand to gain 1 point and 1 pearl. So, like a green production, a red destination, blue governance. There you go. Discard those 3 that were in your hand, and you'll gain a point token and a pearl. Obviously, getting pearls is the whole point of doing this. Illuminer the Inventor. Obviously, that's a pretty cool eel. Alright, so with this one, you'll reveal and discard 2 Tan Traveler cards from your hand to gain 1 point and 1 pearl. This guy was actually in the game I played last, and yes, I had Tan Traveler cards. But as you know, I wanted to use those Tan Traveler cards with my adornment card, and so I did not use this citizen's ability to do it, to get that pearl. Then we have Gus the Gardener. Reveal and discard 3 green production cards from your hand to gain 1 point and 1 pearl. Crustina the Constable. This citizen, you'll reveal and discard 2 blue governance cards from your hand to gain 1 point and 1 pearl. Snout the Explorer. And obviously, this is our Azulto friend, for sure. This one, you'll reveal and discard 2 red destination cards from your hand to gain 1 point and 1 pearl. And then we have the last one here, Omicron the Elder. This citizen, you'll reveal and discard 1 blue, 1 purple prosperity card to gain 1 point and 1 pearl. I think that would probably be the most advantageous, because usually in the beginning of the game, I don't use the purple prosperity cards too often, and so I usually end up discarding them anyways for resources. And so if this one was revealed, and I had one, I would most likely reveal it and discard it, so that way I could get a pearl. This one's probably the best one to get because of that, because I just don't use the purple prosperity cards, at least until the end of the game. And that is it, folks. That is all that Pearlbrook pretty much has to offer. There are some other additional things that come with the collector's edition. There are these nice little open and closed signs. I'm not really sure what they're for. The only thing I can think of is they're for your red destination cards in your city. You can put them on them or something, or near them. You can say to your friends that it's open, because it currently is open, and then when you put a worker there, you can reveal it to them that it's closed. I don't know if that's really what it's for, but it doesn't really say what it's for in the box. I've looked and looked in the rulebook, and there doesn't really seem to be anything that says what these are used for. If you guys know what these are used for and I don't have it right, please let me know in the comments section below. I would really like to know what these are used for, because I'm just not sure, besides the fact that they're just here for sort of a prosthetic look, or to make things look nice or something. There is one thing else I wanted to mention. So when I put these one-twos together, they were pretty easy except for this one. The bridge just didn't quite want to go in. I tried and tried and tried, and I just couldn't get it to go in no matter what I did. And it ended up ruining the bridge, and so even though it looks like it's in there, it's really not in there, especially because I couldn't get the other 2 pieces on each side in there either. So that's my only disappointment, is they could have made this a little bit more easier. Maybe if they made the holes a little bit more bigger, so that way you could stick them in easier, because they just didn't go in. I tried doing them both sides, and they just didn't want to go in on either side. It just was just annoying. I just wish they could have made this a little easier to put together. That's the only thing I have, the only real complaint I have with this expansion. The only. So other than that, this is an awesome expansion. I absolutely love it. I love the Azultals. They are awesome. They are definitely my favorite worker. I really love the pearls. I love getting them. I love using them for the adornment cards, obviously. I had a lot of fun with that one adornment that, let me, the compass, that let me put the fool back in my opponent's town. That was just awesome. I wonder if anybody else has been able to do that, because I didn't even win the game. I had the most fun with that game than I've had in any other game thus far, and I still didn't win the game. Yet I still had a blast giving them the Fool. That was just awesome. That was so much fun. All right, well, thank you guys for watching Everdell Pearlbrook. I hope I explained everything there is to explain with this expansion and how it all works. I hope you guys enjoyed watching these videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.